At one point in 4th grade, the Harlem Shake had just become a thing, and my most prominent childhood bully wanted to do the Harlem Shake with the class. Of course, the Harlem Shake died off a week later, but during this time it was a thing that everyone cared about. So he took up his phone, and the music started playing, and then the beat dropped, and everybody started dancing like crazy. And then he stopped the recording. He came up to me and said, "Why the hell were you dancing like a retard? Now we have to redo it." I said, "No, I was just dancing." He said, "Do you call this dancing?" And then I don't remember the exact details of what he said afterward or what I said. But he proceeded to knee me right next to my balls. So it wasn't my balls, but it was right next to my balls and a bit upward. At the V, the V that goes down and becomes your dick. He kneed me there, on the V. I hunched over. I hunched over immediately, and I faced the ground with my face. My legs were straight, it's bent like an L, and I took small steps out to the hallway. And I went down the stairs, because our classroom was it was on the 2nd floor. And I went down the stairs and I sat on the last few stairs, and I didn't cry. But I was really, really angry. And I wasn't even angry at the fact that I didn't hit him, or I didn't resist, or I just surrendered, that I became submissive. No, that thought didn't even come to my head. I just felt helpless. I didn't feel anything else. Just pain and helplessness. That's it. And that's how I felt throughout primary school. That's how I felt. I felt threatened all the time. Whenever I was in class, whenever I was outside of class, just felt threatened all the time. Because this guy was always trying to do something to, either verbally or physically hurt me, of course. I'm saying verbally. Now, I understand that words don't have any inherent meaning, so they can't really hurt you. But as a kid, the self-programming is just starting to become established, especially when you're 10. So it does hurt a lot. 3 years after that, when I was 13, I started working out, and I haven't stopped working out in some way, shape, or form after that. What do you think the primary drive was in the beginning of working out? Well, I'll tell you. The primary motivator was to manipulate the behavior of others favorably by changing my appearance. But the second underlying drive was, of course, to enhance my sense of self. And most people who work out are after this, whether they realize that or not. They're enhancing their sense of self, and the reason they feel bad if they don't work out is because their sense of self hangs on the fact that they are people who work out consistently. And if they miss a workout, their sense of self takes a hit. What are the health implications of bodybuilding? Why is bodybuilding stupid? Well, what is bodybuilding, actually? Let's answer that first. Bodybuilding is the pursuit of putting on as much muscle mass on your frame as possible. How do you do that? Well, you break down your muscles through, usually, resistance training. Now, why do the muscles get bigger after your resistance training? Well, because you've put yourself through a situation that could be seen as a survival situation. Let's say you're squatting a lot of weight. Your body thinks that you're gonna die if you're doing that, because you're exerting an extreme amount of force. Your blood pressure is gonna be really high, your heart is gonna beat very, very strongly. Okay, that's a survival situation. And your body doesn't want you to die, so when it repairs your muscles after that, it will make them bigger, so that if you ever are in such a situation again, your chances of dying, or the risk of dying, goes down. So that's how your body's thinking when it makes your muscles bigger, when it repairs them. Now, how does the body repair muscles? Well, it takes nutrients from your food and it builds new muscle cells. That's it, and it repairs the damaged ones. That's what it does. Okay, but what's the problem here? Well, you see, muscles allow you to move, and if a human isn't able to move efficiently in a fast way, if a human isn't able to exert force through their arms, through their legs in an efficient manner, well then the human dies. If you can't use your muscles, you can't move around. If you can't move around, you die. So your body prioritizes the repair of muscles over many things in your body, because without the muscles being able to function correctly, again, you can't move. Nothing else will work. You will not be able to procure nutrition through the environment. Therefore, if there is muscle cell damage, your body will repair the muscle cells first. It will prioritize healing the muscle cells, because if this damage continues, you won't be able to move, and if you can't move, again, your survival will waver. Think about it. You've got one person who does a full body workout and needs a bunch of nutrients to create these muscle cells and to repair the damaged muscle cells. And then you've got another person who eats, well, let's say the exact same meal, but the nutrition in this meal just goes to his liver, his digestive system, his brain, his skin, his joints. The argument against this, the fact that this person won't have to repair any muscle cells because he hasn't created any unnecessary damage, is that this guy's body, the guy who worked out, will make him more hungry. He will be able to eat more because his body will need more food. Well, the problem here is that you're stressing your digestive system and you're eating more calories. And remember, the more calories you eat, the sooner you die. And no, we're not eating fewer calories so that we can live longer. Living longer is never the point. But living longer is usually a side effect of feeling really good right now, from a health perspective. The longer you feel really good, the longer you're gonna live. They go together, because the healthier you are, the longer you're gonna live. The healthier you are, the better you're gonna live right now. Okay, but what's the alternative? Because I'm saying that bodybuilding is bad. Obviously, I'm comparing bodybuilding with something, so there needs to be a solution here. Well, the solution is to look at what indigenous people do, how they achieve their physiques, and achieve is a little far-fetched. They don't achieve, they just live, and then that physique happens. Indigenous people do two things. They eat high-quality foods, animal foods and plant foods, and they move. That's it. That's what they do, and their movement has purpose. They walk, or they run, or they climb. Those are the things that they do. They don't take a rock and lift it several times just because it's fun. I haven't seen anyone in nature do that, because you would just get hungry. You would do work unnecessarily. No one does that. That's why gyms are the most retarded concept ever. Because you pay someone to move. Why do you need to pay someone to move? It's the most stupid idea I've ever seen, and the fact that we can monetize such a thing in modern society just speaks to how bodybuilding is rooted in mental emotional patterns. Yes, in modern society we don't move as much to procure our food, and so we need some form of movement. But that's it. We need some form of movement. We don't need to pursue putting on as much muscle mass as possible so that we can satisfy our sense of self, so that we can have a self-view when we look in the mirror that satisfies us. Okay, so why is bodybuilding stupid? Let's answer the question with all of this knowledge that we've gathered, and then we'll touch on the psychology, the sense of self type of stuff that it needs to be touched on. Your body will build this muscle because it thinks you need it for survival, because it thinks that, okay, we're constantly moving very heavy weights, we're constantly needing to move in certain ways a lot, and to survive I'm going to need to be able to produce these forces regularly. That's what your body is thinking, and so it will draw all of its resources and it will put it into maintaining and creating muscle mass. You can't create energy, you have to take it from some place, and muscles are very costly when it comes to nutrients, when it comes to calories, okay? They take a lot to be maintained, so you're gonna draw from something. you're going to need to eat more. And if you need to eat more, you're gonna tax your organs. And that means that you're gonna live less. That's it. You're killing yourself. You're taking years off of your life if you want to bodybuild. It would be great if you did this because it actually helped you survive, but it doesn't. You're just doing this because your sense of self is associated with looking a certain way and doing certain things in a man-made thing called a gym. The reason I told the story in the beginning is because there are many mental, emotional patterns that are created throughout our childhoods and throughout our lives in general that will lead us to do certain things to compensate for a lack in our sense of self. The only reason someone would do bodybuilding, because remember, it's something completely unnecessary. It doesn't give you anything at all except muscle mass, and we've already talked about the consequences of the pursuit of building as much muscle as possible. The only reason you do it is because you have a concept of you looking a certain way. You associate your body, the way you look, with yourself, and therefore you try to improve it so that you can satisfy yourself psychologically from all aspects that it might be associated with, which could be women, money, status, whatever it might be. Some people say that there's a war on masculinity, and as we can see, there are many men who are going to the gym to improve their lives so that they can fight against this structure in society that is telling men to be weak. There is a big movement that is telling men to be strong. Now let me tell you, you're not going to become strong by building muscle and bodybuilding and going to the gym. That doesn't create any strength in a man. That doesn't do anything. The way you become strong as a man is by improving your health to the max, because then you're actually utilizing your body in the way that you should. By building muscles, you're not doing anything. Your health isn't improving. Your liver function isn't becoming better. And now I'm contrasting bodybuilding with general movement, okay? If you're not moving, then that's a problem. Then you can do bodybuilding if you want to. But again, the pursuit of bodybuilding by itself and going to the gym doesn't really do anything. And this also applies to trying to build strength. Strength itself doesn't really do anything at all for your health. The only thing that does something for your health is movement, getting enough movement. If you're one of those people who want to have a good physique, again, if you're interested in a physique like mine, I've shown it in two videos, at least two videos. You can try to find them on this channel. One of them is directly related to exercise. It's about how to build muscle. If you want that kind of physique, all you have to do is calisthenics. Again, it's free and you're going to be outside. You're going to be outside, you're gonna get fresh air, you're not gonna have some stupid pop music stimulating your brain. You're just going to get peace and quiet and a nice and fun workout. And that's it. Now finally, do I still work out? Yes, I do some resistance training in the form of calisthenics sometimes. I don't do it every day, and when I do it, it's a rather short workout. I do some pull-ups, I do some squats, I might do some ring push-ups, and that's it really. That's all I do. I might do some duck walks, some frog jumps. And remember, it's not a means to an end. I'm not trying to get bigger and stronger or faster or anything like that. I just like working out, and so I do it. That's a valid reason, hopefully. It's something fun. And I'm doing it outside, and I like the sun, and sometimes I take my shirt off and I put my hands up and I, close my eyes, and then the people who walk by think I'm crazy, but you know that I'm not crazy, because you would do the same thing. And sometimes I play football. I mean, I've got an entire football field next to my house. Not literally next to my house, but if I walk 10 minutes, I get to it. And it's really fun. I mean, there's no resistance training involved. You won't get bigger biceps, you won't get a bigger back, but it's fun. And it's enough movement to be healthy. My lymphatic system is gonna move, and that's it really. With that said, remember that associating muscles with health is just a concept. Go and achieve excellent health. I know you can do it.